Hey everybody. I thought I would record a quick video here to kind of give big picture overview of the LTP Leadership Team Project. I know you're working on part 3 right now. I just finished grading part 2. And so I wanted to put a few slides together to kind of help you and your group get through the project successfully. So a couple of general comments from LTP 2 and your papers on knowing the theory. A couple of big things that were themes throughout everyone's papers were a lot of uses of direct quotes. What I'm trying to see is like how well you know the theory. And so I don't need you quoting directly from the seminal work all the time, from the text all the time. I need you to read everything, synthesize, and convey to me that you know it based on what is out there on the theory, okay? Also, I know it's a group project. I also know you're probably dividing and conquering, but I shouldn't be able to look at your paper and know that. The paper should read cohesively, and the paper should be in the same color font, and the same style font, and should be formatted the way that it's requested in the assignment requirements, double-spaced with references. Pay close attention to how your references are formatted too at the end. Some of them are really hard to read. So pay attention to formatting once you put all your pieces together. Also, I want to challenge you to think a little bit deeper on who you're choosing as leaders, as examples. John Calipari and Dabo Sweeney were used from everything from authentic to servant leadership to complex adaptive. There were 14 groups, 13 groups, and to have 3 groups use the exact same leaders, I was a little bit surprised for different theories. So some of them were a bit of a stretch, and also think that we can go outside our backyard and think about some other people who are doing things really well from a leadership standpoint in college athletics. So please spread your wings a little bit there as you think through for these next few steps. And also remember that this is a degree in intercollegiate athletics, college sports. So keep your examples to college sports, all right, as best we can. If we run up against things where we maybe need to think outside the box a little bit, we can talk about it. But for the most part, I think we should be fine being able to pull from leaders in college athletics. So, you've already done a few things. Basically this whole project, the idea is that you are teaching a leadership workshop to a designated group in college athletics. So you've chosen the theory, and you're going to go teach that theory for a particular reason to this particular group. All right. And we're doing this, because group work's really important, even though I know some of you don't really like it. But when some of you are already in the working world and you know this, you're going to be put in team settings, working with people who don't operate the same way as you do, have different personalities. And so schedules, right? So you need to start figuring out how to do that well. If you run into issues, you can reach out. I've already helped a few groups kind of get the ball rolling and with a few nudges. But also, like, leadership is about knowing and doing, right? So I want you to start practicing doing and start becoming kind of the teacher on some of these things that you're learning. So you've already selected your theory. We've made groups. Pinwheel. Still pinwheel. There are 5 assignments, okay? But why? You've done that. What's the theory? Learning outcomes, application, activity, and then the finale. So assignment number 1, you started talking about why is this important? So you have this theory. Why is it important to be teaching this in college athletics? What's going on? Who's the players? Why is it happening? How can this type of leadership training be helpful? And you gave 3 to 5 justified, well-explained reasons. You expanded on those in assignment number 2 after you'd really dug deep on what your theory was, presenting a history, giving some models associated with it. Some of you need to revisit that part of the papers for your finale, but associated models, connecting your reasons to real life examples of things that are going on in college athletics, future possibilities for research, and 2 leaders that best embody the theory. And you did a pretty good job for the most part, including those academic sources. So where we're at right now is learning objectives, assignment number 3. Each group member needs to select a podcast. So made you read articles and academic stuff last time. This time you're kind of going out in the world, and instead of interviewing practitioners, you're going to go find podcasts that either pertain to your theory. I know Bill George has a ton out there on authentic leadership, but there's a ton out there on all these topics. So something you have to do with your theory either has to do with the specific population that you're presenting to with your workshop, right? Or this issue that maybe you say you're you're going to be talking about using authentic leadership to help student athletes develop the brand for NIL. Maybe find something around that topic. So it doesn't have to be about the theory itself. It doesn't have to be about the group of people itself. It doesn't have to be about the topic, but it needs to be about one of those and something that you can use to bring back. Because basically what you're going to do after the group has their podcast, you're going to build from LTP2 and take your podcast, and you're going to come up with the 3 learning objectives. So basically, when you're done with your workshop, what do you want to be able to say that you've accomplished, right? So you need to put, this is probably just like one piece of paper, maybe 2, but group member names. Let's start titling what our workshop is going to be, right? So using authentic leadership to teach NIL branding to student athletes. You may want to start to consider who your audience is. Are you addressing administrators? Are you addressing student athletes? Are you addressing coaches, assistant coaches, graduate assistants, right? Which population in college athletics is this workshop being made for? Then develop your learning objectives. Learning objective number 1 is this, and here's why we think that this is important, right? Did you get it? And make sure you cite if you got it from an article you read in LTP2, if you got it from a podcast, right? So you're just continuing to collect information to build your case. Assignment number 4 is going to be application and activity. So your group needs to be prepared to start putting the workshop together. So title slide, introductory slides of the presenters. How are you going to do that, right? And then you'll submit it in slides, either through Google Slides, PowerPoint, Prezi. It should include kind of what we've done already up to this point, right? Title with names and title slide with names and the title of the workshop, introduction of the presenters. What are your learning objectives? What are you going to tell your audience that you're hoping to accomplish today? You need to teach the theory. What are your slides going to look like for that? Include one model. And then you need slides for an activity. So then what are you going to do in the workshop to teach what you're trying to teach? How are you going to go about doing this? So I'll keep using my example. I would use a values exercise, right? That I think I made available in this class for y'all. That would be an example of an activity. You in the big picture, your whole workshop's probably going to take an hour if you were doing this live. I'm going to ask you to keep your videos in the finale to 30 minutes or less. If you want other ideas and different ways of maybe doing that, let me know. We can discuss creatively. But you also need to submit a handout to go with your workshop. So if you are doing a values exercise, I would have a handout that has, my information on it with step-by-step how we're going to go through the values exercise. Okay. So in number 4, you're starting to build the workshop. So you should have some of these slides put together with a handout. In assignment number 5, you're submitting the video file for your group presenting your workshop on the theory of your choice. Okay. And here are the things that it should include. I should be able to tell by the title slide who you're presenting to. All right. So you're basically building, hopefully what this is doing is you're building step by step, right? From number 1 to number 5. Do make note that in number 5, you also should include an icebreaker. Your icebreaker be intentional, okay, around what you're trying to accomplish for the day. And that's pretty much it. So I hope this kind of gives an overview, of a better picture of as you're building it, what the end goal is. You are basically teaching a theory to a particular audience to help with a particular issue in college sports. If you need help, you know where to find me. I'm a text message away. I'm happy to hop on a Zoom with a group. And you should also include second draft of your handout for your workshop and your final, okay? Please keep videos under 30 minutes when possible. I'm not sure why this slide has animations, but it does. So I kind of already touched on those points. So you will be recording this. You will get your group on Zoom together and you will record it as if you are presenting it to a group. Okay. If you want to invite other people on to join, awesome. Maybe you want to each of you invite a friend and they can be your practice audience. That would give you time to really pull it off well. So I think that's about it. Hopefully this helps a bit. Make sure that you are sharing equal time in the presentation, that you still include reference slides at the end of your workshop so I can see where you're getting all your good information. Remember that when you're presenting, this isn't an assignment. I know it's an assignment, but treat it as you're actually doing the workshop, right? So many times I get videos from students and it's just very monotone. Be engaging, right? Be excited that you get to do this. And then also remember at the end, there is going to be a group mate evaluation form. So everyone will get a chance to evaluate their group members, because not everyone will get the same grade if the evaluation forms come back differently. So hope everyone is pulling their weight and being responsible and being engaged with their group. So if you need me, holler. Hopefully this helps, and enjoy fall break, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.